today we are in the kitchen. It is Friday and I have a lot of meal prepping to do today, so you all are gonna get to see that today. I know I went live yesterday. Yeah, we had pizza yesterday. So with us having pizza, there was no bread, so we do have to make bread today. First and foremost, to start with, I'm also gonna be baking chicken for my husband. And when I bake chicken for him, I like to bake bread at the same time, or either if I'm making bread, I like to make chicken for him one time. That means everything goes in the oven one shot, right, or one after the other. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. Let me just set up the bowl on my screen here, my gift bowl, because you guys, I love when you guys gift me gifts, right? Nice. So we're live this morning. Welcome. We are going to be doing some meal prep stuff today. So I'm gonna start with my bread. I'm just gonna be making one set of bread today because I do have a few other things to get doing. I have a lot of other things to get doing in the kitchen. So baking bread is gonna be the first thing that we do, because obviously the dough and stuff has to get some time to settle and whatnot. So let's get started. I have my big bowl here to start with. I'm gonna get the flour and we're gonna start. So my flour of choice is either all-purpose flour. Alright. I have to get my measuring cup as well. So I have a glass measuring cup, and I know this is a wet measuring cup, but I use it for wet and dry ingredients. So I'm going to be using 5 cups of all-purpose flour. So I'm going to put that into my bowl right here. All right? And this is just going to make things easier for my weekend. Oh, thank you, Walt's Money, for the gift. So this is going to just make my weekend so much easier without me having to purchase bread. Because, Michael, just check your sister, please. Because what would happen is that we tend to eat a lot of bread. So making bread on a Friday is going to make my weekend much simpler. 1 second, guys. That's our first cup in here. Right, so it's just gonna make my weekend so much easier without having to stop to buy bread. I do have a few appointments this weekend, which is gonna take me out of the house because they are house call jobs, as in for makeup. So I'm not gonna be in the house that often, especially on Sunday. So I may take you guys along with me for that, to see how we do a house call. But we do have to prep today in order to, maximize on time. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to be cooking today. I'm going to be making bread. I'm going to be baking chicken. So we have 1 cup of flour in here, and I'm using all-purpose flour to make my bread, to knead my dough, right? S2. 3, 4, 5, and I'm also doing all of this while the baby sleeps. So especially the things that are gonna take a little more time or a little more detail and attention, I want to get those things done while he sleeps. So I'm just going to be making 1 set of bread, and this 1 set of bread or 1 set of flour you all are seeing here is going to give me 4 loaves of bread. right? So we have 5 cups of all-purpose flour. This has salt in it, so I'm gonna put in like 1 teaspoon of salt. Because this does take time to raise and stuff, so you want to make sure that you prep that first. I'm using 1 whole sachet of instant yeast. Let me just get something to cut the cap with. Where's my scissors? Right, so we have our yeast, and I'm also going to be doing a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Right, so this container just is a Nesquik container that is reused with brown sugar. So I'm going to be using a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and this is just going to help feed the yeast so that the yeast becomes activated and we start raising the bread a lot faster. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix all of those dry ingredients. Like that. I'm using my hands. I like to use my hands to be able to feel out the texture of my dough and know if it's too dry or too wet, right? I have to go get margarine / butter, whichever one you could feel free to use. I use margarine in my dough, right? Today's margarine of choice is Imperial margarine. It comes with 2 sticks of... Hi Cindy, good morning. I'm making bread first and foremost to start, so I'm needing my flour for my bread, right? So this box comes with 2 sticks of margarine. I'm gonna melt down half of this, right? So I'm gonna cut half of this, put it into a dish, and put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds to melt it down, right? Because we want it to melt. Thank you, Nelson. We want it to melt down to be able to pour it in here. If you don't have margarine or butter, you could use roughly a 1/4 cup of oil to add to it. Is it a veggie recipe? Well, I'm not putting anything. I don't know if you don't want to, if you don't consume like butter and these sorts of things, as I said, you could substitute it for oil, but as in if you're full vegan, like, and you don't eat even dairy stuff, so you could check into that. What are you making? I am making bread. I'm needing flour for bread first and foremost. Alright, so I have my bowl here, and I'm gonna cut this in half like that. This half is going into my dish here, and I'm going to put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds. In the meantime, what you want to do is, this recipe usually calls for like 2 cups, 2 1/4 cup of water to knead the flour in properly. So I like to have hot water, and what I do is I mix 1/4 cup of hot water with 3/4 cups of like normal room temperature water. That in itself helps to heat up the dough so that it raises faster. This also helps if you live in cold climate areas and it's snowy, because I know a lot of persons who engage in my content does live in areas that are experiencing snow right now. So those are some tips that you all could take in order to, if you're interested in making bread or even any other breads like sweet breads and those kind of things, using hot water, or not entirely hot water, to kill the yeast in your flour, but a good enough temperature that is not cold and it's not too lukewarm. It's going to help your bread raise faster and the yeast not to die out in your flour. So our butter or margarine has melted down, and I'm going to add it in there. I'm going to get 3/4 cups of room temperature water. My kettle just finished hotting up the water, and then we're going to put 1/4 cup of hot water in there so that we have the ideal temperature. So this is essentially our first cup, and I could throw in this entire first cup in there because I already know that 1 cup of water is not going to be enough. However, our second cup of water, you want to gradually add the water into the dough. You don't want your flour swimming in water or liquid. You want to slowly integrate your wet ingredients into your dry ingredients, right? So now that my first cup has been totally absorbed into there, and you could still see there's a lot of loose flour happening around here, I want to then go on. Hi Max Michael, hi son. Now I'm going to slowly start pouring in that second cup of water in there. You can add 1 box of evaporated milk to this and substitute 1 cup of water if you so choose to. It does make the bread a lot creamier, but the shelf life isn't very long if you're looking to have it on the counter. And if it's not going to be eaten within 2 to 3 days, then it is advised to put it into your fridge or your deep freeze, right? But generally, bread doesn't last that long here. So because of how often I make bread and how often my children consume bread, this method works really well for us. If you have a soft dough, then essentially your bread is not going to be dry. So I'm just kneading my flour here. My second cup is also finished, and I still have a lot of loose flour happening here, so I will need to add in just about 1/4 cup of water. And for those of you who just tuned in, I know there's a wet and a dry measuring cup. This is considered the wet measuring cup, and I use this for our dry ingredients as well. So for my flour, I used 5 cups of the wet measuring cup to measure out my flour into the bowl. Alright, so I'm just kneading the flour to bring all of the flour together. But as you can see here, we still have a lot of loose flour on the side here. So I'm going to get some additional water. And as I say, you're just going to need roughly 1/4 to 1/2 cup of water. Sometimes we don't level off the flour, which means you could get a little extra flour, but You just need to bear that in mind and take your time when you're pouring in water. Do not add all the water all at once into your dough, because then by default you will have to then go ahead and add additional flour to soak up all of that water, and then your bread turns out dry. So slowly integrate the water, especially the second cup and the quarter cup of water into your dough. Please do that slowly. And for persons who are interested in following this recipe from scratch, I do have 2 different bread loaf recipes on my page, where one is with no evaporated milk, which is what I am doing here right now, and the other one has evaporated milk, does contain evaporated milk in there. If you don't have evaporated milk and you have full cream milk, you can also use that. Alright, so I added in a little too much water, and now I just have to add a little bit of flour to knead it in because it is too sticky. And okay, so all of my dough has come together. You could see there's no loose flour happening around. It's just the dough that we came together. I'm going to take off this extra dough on my fingers, put it there, because you want to make sure and add that to your entire dough here. And then we're going to knead our dough for roughly 4 to 6 minutes. Alright, I just want to add a sprinkle of flour to kind of get majority of the dough off, all the big set of dough off of my fingers before we start kneading. Alright, I think that would be good. After this, I do have to clean leg quarters to bake for my husband. Check it out. Just peeping. I'm sending my big son to check on the baby because I'm not sure if I heard him. Alright, so we're going to knead, and I'm using my fingers to pull, and the palm of my hand here, the base palm of my hand, to push the dough, all while simultaneously turning the bowl so that we knead the entire dough going around. This is to activate the gluten in the bread and make that bread be nice and elasticity type of texture. Alright. Alright, so we're kneading. And notice I don't need to add any additional flour to this. It is sticky enough. It's soft enough. It isn't dry whatsoever.
Hi.
My daughter is saying hi.
Hi. What are you doing?
Making bread.
Bread?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's this?
It's flour.
Flour? It's another finger.
Alright, so I'm happy with my dough. So my dough looks like this. We don't have any excess flour in there. What I am going to do now is get a cloth, wet it till it's damp, and cover it down. This is going to help keep our dough very moisturized and moist so that it doesn't dry. You don't want a dry bread, you want a nice soft and moist bread. So I'm going to get my cloth, wet it, and we're going to cover this down and allow this to double in size. It's sit there. Yeah? Good. Don't touch. So we have our wet Heidi Savage. Good morning. How are you? So we have our wet cloths, right? And I'm just gonna cover down my dough like this, right? And I'm gonna put it in a warm area. If you do live in somewhere that is snowy and very cold right now, what you can do is put it into your oven with the light on. If you do have that feature, you put it into your oven with the light on and allow it to double in size so that it keeps that warm texture that it has and your dough is moist without being cooked or beginning to cook. So I'm not gonna put that into my oven. I'm gonna put this on my counter or my deep freeze on that side of the kitchen where the windows are. So my windows are currently open, so it's gonna allow the natural light from outside to come in, because right now we are experiencing a beautiful sunny day, so that light and that heat from that we're getting from outside is gonna help me raise my dough, right? Yeah. So you will just give me like 2 minutes. The baby's up. So I just have to go bring him downstairs and then we will go start that chicken process. Do you all find my glasses seeming a bit foggy? I think that's a little better. So let me just go get the baby real quick and I'll be right back. Yeah. So the baby's awake, guys. Say hi, good morning. Right? So he's awake. Also, for those of you who know, I usually breastfeed him, but we recently started him on the bottle. So I'm only breastfeeding at night. Yeah. But he still takes a little time to drink the tea because obviously it is new to him. We only started him this week. So you know that is going to take some level of adjustment, given that he was simply accustomed to being breastfed. Okay, so he doesn't want it right now. And that's fine. We're just gonna wait until he's hungry. So I'm gonna put him to play and do his thing. You wanna play? You wanna play? Wanna play? Yeah. So some of the things that we have to do in the kitchen today is we have to clean chicken. We have to season chicken, which means we have to make seasoning as well. And also we have to cook for us to have food for the weekend. Because like I said, I do have a very busy weekend. So cooking food is going to be ideal. It's going to save my husband and I from spending money. Right? It's really going to save us from spending money. So yeah, so it's essentially like a meal prep for us. Alright, so he doesn't want anything. I'm gonna put him to play and do his thing on the other side so that we could continue in the kitchen. Oh, not to mention, guys, I also have another pamper to change my daughter. So let me just do that and I'll come back real quick in the kitchen. I'm not ending the live. I'm just gonna change on that side and I'll be right back. I have 3 children, two of which are babies slash toddler. So I have to be usually a little bit hands-on for those of you who are new here and it's new that I'm not in the frame consistently. I do have babies that require a lot of extra attention. So yeah, I'll be right back. Good. So we are back. So I'm gonna take you guys by the sink where we're gonna take care of the chicken. We're gonna clean the chicken, allow it to soak in some lime and vinegar to take out the freshness, and then while that is being done, we're gonna see about the seasoning in order to season the chicken, right? So I'm gonna take you guys by the sink with me. Alright, so we are by my kitchen sink. Let me know if it's too bright. Yeah, I think it's a bit too bright, so I will put down my curtain. Today the sun is really hot outdoors, so you all can see that sun coming through here. It's adding a little bit of a glare, but I don't like dark kitchen curtains because I like a lot of light coming into my kitchen when I'm cooking. So actually putting darker curtains is not gonna work for me. Guys, if I tell you something, I was actually supposed to do this chicken yesterday. I took it out to thaw and stuff, and I wasn't feeling my absolute best in terms of energy and everything yesterday. So I was supposed to even bake bread yesterday, and I did not do any of that. I really was not feeling entirely myself. I was tired because I started the gym on Tuesday. I started back the gym on Tuesday after about 10 years of not being in the gym. In that 10 years, obviously, I built my family, I helped with my family, I made children and all of these things. So there was no, and I was breastfeeding, especially my daughter. I breastfed for 2 years up until my son was born, my third son was born. So felt good to really be back in the gym and, you know, taking care of me. So my body was really sore yesterday, but I got up and I went to the gym last night. It did do that. So my body was in shambles yesterday morning, so I chose not to do anything. And then also we got some good news reports when it comes to my son's end of term. So as a reward for him, and also because guys, we reached 4,000 watch hours, therefore our page is now fully monetized. Thank you all so very much for the help on that journey, for those of you who constantly come back to when I'm live. So we did a little pizza as well, you know, just to celebrate, thank God, and do all of those things yesterday. So, you know, when you eat a little junk food, your body then goes into extra relaxation mood. So yeah, nothing was done in terms of kitchen prep yesterday, right? So we are seeing about that today, because over the weekend I definitely do not have time to do any of this. Saturday is my Sabbath. I don't do anything on a Saturday where meal prepping and cooking and all of that is concerned. I usually go to church on Saturdays, except on the days my husband does have to work. My husband, for those of you who have seen the day Tuesday when my husband came from work to drop off some stuff for us, my husband is a police officer in Trinidad, so it requires him to come out and work on some days, especially with December and Christmas and stuff. It calls for a lot more patrols and a lot more police presence. So he does have to work some weekends. He's usually off on weekends, but in December, because it's Christmas and stores are open later and there are much more people on the road, he has to work a lot more on days that he is usually off. So I'm gonna be home tomorrow, you know. So this is my little bowl for my discard stuff from my chicken. I like to remove the skin off the chicken. So we're just removing the skin like that. To me, especially when it comes to leg quarters and that thigh part, the chicken is a little extra fresh. So I like to really clean this thoroughly, like you all have no idea, thoroughly. It takes all that freshness, allowing it to soak in that lime and vinegar, removes all of that fresh scent that you will get when cooking chicken, right? I don't use a lot of powdered seasonings in my chicken at all. I mostly use our green seasoning, and you all will see how I make that. For those of you who are new here, I usually make green seasoning to season my chicken with. Alright, so that's what we are going to be doing. So it's also really fatty, so you know, I like to get rid of as much fat as possible. So you always still see that I'm still on the first chicken here, and punching some holes into the chicken when you put it to marinate with that seasoning for a little while, as well as when you are cleaning the chicken, you would get, take off the gas please, you will get that the seasoning goes into the chicken directly, which flavors the chicken a lot more. And the thigh is usually a bit more slimier than the other parts. Like I was telling my husband, this month I want to go to a meat shop called Premium Quality Meats in Trinidad, where we could find like a variety of different chicken parts in different forms, and I want to give it a try. Some boneless stuff and thing that I want to give it a try. once we do have the time, because he has been working a lot over the season that we are in as well. So remove that chicken skin. And we're cutting off any excess fat and gunk, especially the gunk that is usually behind here. I took it off already, so forgot to punch some holes. Right, so there's that. So if there's anyone new here, welcome to my channel. If you all have not liked and subscribed yet, don't forget to like and subscribe and share my live, my videos, my page with someone who is interested in this type of content. And my type of content is usually surrounded you know, cooking, meal prepping. You all get to see some beauty related stuff, so you all will see when I'm doing my get readies with me. You all are also gonna see when I have clients, because I am in the beauty industry, which means I do hair and I do makeup, braids, natural hair, curly hair especially. Y'all are gonna see a lot of that. Some silk press. Well, this season is silk press season. And I get to film some of my clients that are comfortable with being in front of the camera and don't mind being live, you know. So yeah, you all will get to experience that, as well as things that I do as a wife, as a mom, family vlogs when we go out. You'll see it all when my husband carries me for doubles. And for those of you who don't know, I love doubles and I eat it a lot. Right, different local Trinidad cuisines. I take you all once I have good reception, I take you all along with the lives while I'm live, or if I can't be live, I will try my best to record it as much as possible, you know. But yeah, that is essentially what my page is about. So that's the type of content that you all are going to see across my page. 1 second, guys, my son is coming for my tripod. Good. I think that's going to block him, for keep him occupied for a little while. I had to put something in front, well, behind the tripod, and he's watching me and laughing. Don't do that. He's mobile right now. He's in his walker, so he's coming for everything. Carry him up on that side. Good morning, Kelly Windsor. How are you? Right, so we're just cutting off the excess skin that didn't come off, taking off the gunk behind here. Here we also have stickers activated. So like I said, with being fully monetized now, what is that? Fully monetized now. We've reached that 4,000 watch hours. I have activated the membership part on my page as well. So if you all are interested in membership only type content, feel free to let me know. I'm checking out to see what you guys are interested in. I know you all love the lives. You all really interact with the lives. Hi Alex, I know you all really love interacting with me on the lives. So I tend to do a lot of lives when my husband is home. My husband is usually behind the camera. So he records a lot of my long form videos that you'll see on my page that is horizontal. My husband usually does those for me once he's home with the camera, or if he has set up the camera for me to do them myself. And he also edits my work, especially ones that have been pre-recorded. What else? I say a lot. Oh, that's a filler word that I need to stop. But yeah, so I like to know what type of content you all really like engaging with. And I know you all like the live interaction. So, and I love the live interaction, talking with you guys, hearing some of your perspective on a lot of the things that I do, or even things that I do, how it's done differently where you all live, right? Or from wherever you're from. I like to come and show you guys, different things about where I live and how we experience things here in Trinidad. You'll see firsthand the things that we do as a family. I've opened up a lot of my life to you guys, and you'll really enjoy that as well. What's that?
The extension.
Put it on the ground. She probably didn't like the episode, just change it. Alright, so remember to punch your holes. Alright, so one tray had six leg quarters. And this is for my husband because he eats a little bit differently from us, because he is also in the gym and his diet is a little bit different from us. So he is trying to lose weight and build muscle, versus I am trying to maintain my weight, lose the belly fat, of course, from childbirth, and then build muscle also. So his eating is a little bit different. It requires a little more. His own is a little more strict than my own. My own, I still have the flexibility of eating my regular food for now, with the addition of including a lot more protein into my diet. And yeah, so his is like sweet potato and chicken and eggs and veggies, like very strict, very little carbs, especially in the night and stuff. So yeah, let me just clean up this because we do need these things again. So I'm going to get my vinegar and the lime to put into the chicken, because this chicken needs to be, we need to take out the freshness off of the chicken, right? What do you want? What do you want? We have a lime here, and this lime is pretty ripe, so it's not green, it's, you're gonna see the yellow. This has a lot of juice in it, so ideal. And we have our vinegar as well. Alright, so I'm just going to cut this lime in half. And what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze it into the bowl. So my bowl has water and the chicken in it, and I'm now squeezing some limes in it. Just one lime, not too much. And I'm gonna put just like a quarter cup of vinegar in here as well. And this is really gonna cut the freshness from the chicken. Right, give that a mix. And we're gonna just let this soak for a little while. Right? I'm going to get my seasoning because we have to begin kind of rough cutting it. And to put it into, I'm not doing it in the blender. I really like the chopped method. To me it helps season the chicken a lot more. So I'm going to get that and I'll be right back. And I'm going to take you guys back by the table with me as well. I do have to clean now. Put it higher up. You're going to hear children in the background again. My children are home with me and they are living like normal. This is what is usually on my page. I like to show you guys the raw and unfiltered parts of my life. Close it.
Like to be in this kitchen.
I'm also going to put back in the kitchen. Take Shannon on that. Then I'll come to this place. Michael, that's in it. Then I'll put this in there. We usually have to make a kind of fortress thing so that the baby doesn't knock down a lot of things. So I'm back by the table here with you guys. See if his teething toy is upstairs. We also have a teething baby, so he's a little bit extra fussy than usual. No, Dad, don't do that, please. You're scaring him. Don't do it. Not so loud, okay? And his toy son. Right, so when I can't go to the market, I usually buy this seasoning pack from the grocery. It does contain everything I need, which is chive, shadow benny, celery. We have a little packet here with like pimentos and hot peppers. I don't use hot peppers into my seasoning because my children don't eat pepper. Don't do that, please. I have to wash it out though. So I'm going to wash it out and bring it back. I'm going to bring my cutting board here. Take out the seasoning. I am making enough seasoning for me to cook with as well. So I'm going to wash this off because you all would see it still has a lot of black stuff there. That's because it was grown in the dirt. So, you know, you want to make sure and wash all of that out. Nice. So we have our, this is called chive or like green onions. So some of them it does come with a little, you know, extra dry stuff in there. So I like to discard of it. Right? I am gonna cut off this part here. This is the part that goes into the ground, so the root part. And this could be replanted. I'm just giving it a quick rough cut, nothing too much, because it's going to go into the chopper that's going to do all the work for us. And any dead ends, Hi, Isaac. I am good. Any dead ends, we're going to put them to the side and discard of them. We want our seasoning to be really nice and green, so anything that's looking too brown, discard of it. Right? We have our celery here. Just cutting off the ends. And giving it giving it a rough chop. Alright, so that's what we're doing. Rough chop. And into our bowl there. I don't have to cook for lunch today, but I do have to cook for lunch for over the weekend. There's food in the fridge that my children could eat. I'm gonna be making a veggie pilau, and when I say a veggie pilau, it just means I'm not putting any chicken or meat into the pilau. It doesn't mean you can't eat meat with it. I just like to have my meat separate from inside of my pilau, because I like to put a little gravy. I like to put a lot of gravy over my pilau, especially when I don't have items to make a potato salad. Alright, I have my shadow benny or bandania or cilantro, as some person may know it as. I'm cutting off the root part because this could be replanted. I'm going to put that to the side. I like to put a lot of shadow benny / bandania in my season. It gives the food a really nice flavor. It is the strongest flavor in there. Big or Spanish time, to me it overpowers the seasoning, so I don't cook a lot with it at all. Right? Cut off the ends, giving it a rough chop, because like I said, it's going into the chopper, my mini chopper, to make seasoning for now, to season our chicken and to cook lunch with. I don't remember where are you watching from. I am from Trinidad. Isaac. I can't remember seeing you on the live. If you did, I don't remember you. My apologies. Are you subscribed? Right? So we have all our green seasoning roughly chopped here. We're from Canada. And this is our little bundle with peppers. So these are hot peppers here. I won't be adding them to my seasoning. I cook with no pepper because my children don't eat pepper. I just add pepper sauce to my food after. So we're opening this up and we're going to take out the hot peppers. If there's a stem, I suggest you hold it by the stem, because it is hot peppers, right? Alright, and now we just have pimentos and garlic in there. We're gonna put the garlic into our bowl here, and we're gonna cut off the stems off of these and put it into, and just give them a rough chop, like cut them in two. Because like I said, our chopper is going to do all the work for us. Here, Michael, see if he wants this. Just right in the water there. Right? Because what tends to happen is if you hold the pepper by, no, if he doesn't want it, it's okay. Okay, good. Just giving it a rough cut. If you hold pepper by the pepper itself, it would burn your fingers, depending on how hot the pepper is. Pimentos aren't hot at all, they aren't spicy. You'll really ever get a spicy pimento. I just like to cut off. No, look, he wants it. Look. Keep it by you. Okay. Okay. Right? So, we're going to put this into the chopper now. And this is going to be our seasoning for both chicken and cooking. Right? I'm going to take you guys by my counter on that side there. Because there's a plug, a wall socket plug. Alright. That's all. Good. So this is my mini chopper. I've had this a while. So look at it and think it's not operational. I've had this for quite a while. Anything that makes my life easier in the kitchen, my husband likes to buy it for me. Best investment he has ever made when it comes to seasoning for me. Mother, Alright, so we have our chopper here, just gonna fix it. And I'm turning it this way so that you'll be able to see. I'm putting the blade in. And then I'm gonna start putting in my green seasoning. Just in case. My son usually comes to do this part for me. I don't know why it's giving me trouble this morning. It's locked on, but it's not doing what I want it to do. Did I have it on wrong? I think I did. No, I have to flip this back on. Okay, I have to take it out again. Just one. Okay, we got it there. So we're gonna put back this seasoning in there. Now you say that I shall not all around. I'm just gonna do this first. I think I got a hot pimento in there, and I'm smelling a little spice. I'm not certain, but I think we did get a hot pimento. My son is going to come to do this part because he's asking me to do it. Right, so let me just empty this out and he's going to come to do this other part here. I am coming. I'm coming, son. Here, Michael. My son is going to come to do it. Bring it.
blender seasoning, tomato, and garlic. I don't want to do it. What? I want this. None. Are you already put some more?
Hi, Anya. Right, so let's have another piece again to put. Right. And is it? Alright, so my son just helps me out there. And essentially this is what our season is looking like. This is green seasoning. I'm going to put it into a bowl that we have here. Alright, I'm just going to scrape off the balance here. will put some water in this to get off, to make sure we utilize all of the seasoning. So this is, look at how beautiful that is looking. Alright, 1 second guys. Michael, what's that next one, please? Good. So I want to take you guys back by the counter because my bread is ready to go into pans. So I was gonna see about the chicken, which is seasoned and stuff, but my bread is ready to go into the pans. It has doubled in size. I don't want it to start over producing that yeast as in one big hole and then the bread starts smelling like yeast. We don't want that. So taking you guys back here. So we're back by the counter, by the table. I'm gonna put these things in the sink. Wipe down my counter. Alright, and I'm going to bring the bread to show you guys what it's looking like. So for those of you who were here from the start, you all would know that we did need flour for bread, right? And our bread did double in size. I'm going to remove the cloth. So this is what our bread is looking like, our dough. So I'm gonna get 4 bread pans because this recipe is gonna give me 4 loaves of bread. Let me just put this to the side. And we're gonna take some of that same margarine that we use inside of the bread, inside of the dough. We're going to butter the bread pans. And this is going to prevent our bread from sticking to the pan. You don't want to bake a nice bread and then when you look, your bread can't come out of the pan, the whole bread separating from the top. You don't want that. So this is going to prevent it from happening. So our second bread pan is down. And put this inside. So I just rest it on my stove top because I do need a little extra space to work with. Right, and we are buttering our last bread pan here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna lightly flour our surface. You're not gonna add like a ton of flour. Just a little sprinkle, a little razzle dazzle. Right? Not sure if you guys are seeing properly. Now it's kind of dark. Where did all the light go? Where did all the lights go? Right. So we're gonna pour this out onto the table. And we're gonna cut this into 4.
Mommy, you're my best friend. And mommy,
I saw that. And I'm going to make these into little balls like this. And then we're gonna roll them out into the bread shape. This does the size, once it looks even, to me it looks even. Sometimes you get one bread bigger than others. If you have a scale and you want to measure out your dough, and you want to measure out your balls, then that's entirely up to you. Like to get an even, all the bread looking even. Yeah, go ahead. Right, so we're just putting that together. Like that. Alright, then I'm gonna take back that first dough and we're gonna open it out. You could use a rolling pin for this if you like. You don't necessarily have to. I'm just roughly opening it out like that, and then I'm gonna roll it in.
Mommy, let me do it. Mommy, can I do it?
I will do this time, right?
I will do it.
Look at that, and we're gonna put this into our bread pan.
I want to. Mommy, I want to do it.
Taking another one.
Can I have that phone?
I'm not sure what my daughter wants to do with that. And then I'm gonna roll it in. Like that. We're gonna continue doing that until all of them are completed. As well, and then roll it in to make that loaf. Right, so now that our bread are in pans, we're gonna put this back where the first bread was, where the dough was raising, and put that to the side. Nada. Look, Shalom, I have the data. So I was wondering to myself, where is all of the light? But guess what? It started raining. Well, drizzling, not really a heavy rain. have my mat outside drying, so I went to get it before it got wet. Alright, so the baby does want a little bit of mommy's attention, so we're gonna give him that. Right? No, not yet. He's hungry, but it's an adjustment for him. I really sometimes prefer that he drinks his tea before I give him anything else. Nada, go sit on the chair, please. Take the hat and go on the chair. Right, so if there's anything that you all want to ask me or find out, because we do have to go and season that chicken now, as well as put up our pot of veggie pilau to cook. But obviously, like I said, that is at work, so I have the children home with me today, and sometimes they require a little extra love. Come. Don't do it, please.
This. Oh, yeah, it's right there.
Yeah. So for those of you who are new here, welcome to my channel, and for those of you who are existing subscribers, welcome back. For those of you who tune in to my live constantly, thank you all so very much for constantly being or coming live with me. It's greatly appreciated. We are finally at 4,000 watch hours, guys, and I could not do that without you all. So thank you. I'm not gonna stop going live because I love going live and interacting with you guys. It's something that I really do enjoy doing, but I also love producing content. My husband does help me out a lot, like a huge amount. He helps me out when it comes to creating content, because he does a lot of my editing work, especially on my long form videos. Help Michael with the Nada, help Michael with the clothes from the basket. Go and throw it in the garbage. Yeah, so that is essentially what we're gonna be doing. I just had to stop to feed the baby. I've started to slow down on breastfeeding him, so he's only been breastfeeding in the night, but it is sometimes a bit of a challenge during the day. For obvious reasons, given that he is or was breastfeeding, it is going to be a challenge for him. And I think, I'm not sure if he's sleepy right now, but he just woke up from a nap, so chances are he is sleepy. Yeah. Okay. Salina. Yeah, so I'm gonna take you guys by my kitchen sink now that the baby's fed. He did not drink all of his tea, he drank like an ounce, and he usually does that, especially since we've started him out on the bottle. He has not been drinking like a full bottle, because you could see He does not want that. He wants his groups. But this is what we have to work with because mommy has started going to the gym and taking care of herself. So I have to do that in order to continue and having the endurance to do a lot of the things that I do on a regular basis. So that is truly going to help me a lot with that. So let me just put him back to play and we will continue. Nada. Good. So guys, we are back by the sink. So I'm gonna move you guys back over there with me. Alright, so we are back by the kitchen sink here. I'm gonna put this to the side. This is my discard stuff, but we do, when you soak or when you allow your chicken to soak, sometimes you get to take back off some extra fat that you didn't get to do before. Alright, so that's what we're cleaning up. I'm gonna put that into the sink and then we're gonna put it back into the bowl. So we do have some extra fat coming off there. Our palette looks a little weird, so I'm just cutting that off. Put it to the side. Any extra fat that you see that the vinegar and the lime together help soften that fat, that tough fat that might be difficult to come off. So we're just taking that off. Alright, remove it. Put it into the sink because you don't want to put it back into the same bowl and you get mixed up on what you're doing. That's all. Good. So you're gonna take out that water. 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Good. So I'm gonna put my chicken in this bowl here and we're just gonna give it a final rinse with water. Good. Put our water in there. Rinse it out. I'm gonna put salt and my green seasoning in here. So my husband usually prefers that his food be seasoned with pink salt. So that's what we're going to do. I don't know how much that is. I just go based on what I am seeing here. We're gonna put in some of that green seasoning in there. Like a generous amount. Because leg and thigh is something that is extra fresh. And I'm gonna take my hands and just mix it in. Simple. And then I'm going to put this in my deep freeze to marinate for a little while. When I'm also making the sauce for the chicken, we will put some extra green seasoning in there as well. When I put it into on the pan, on the dish to bake, I will put a little extra on the ones that may need extra seasoning. So this is what my season is looking like. This is what my chicken is looking like. Right, so I'm gonna put this into the deep freeze to marinate for a little. So in the meantime, we are going to start to kind of clean up the kitchen before I start cooking food. I like to have a really nice clean kitchen where it's washed up in case I have to utilize anything during the cooking process. So that really does help me with that. I don't have a dishwasher, so we're doing all of this by hand. This is the bag that our chicken was in. So I'm going to put our discard pile in there. Make sure and clean up everything that is kind of fresh. So you all clean down like soap down your sink. I may have to come back because I think the baby wants to sleep. So all our ingredients have been prepped. Our bread is waiting. We're waiting for our bread to raise, and our chicken is marinating for a little bit. So what I will do though is I will come back live. So make sure and turn on post notifications for when I go live to see the continuation process of what we did or what we prepped in the kitchen, because everything is going to be cooked today, right? So guys, thanks for tuning in. I will come back live in just a little bit. I just have to go take care of the baby, so I'll see you guys in a little while. All right, bye.